Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be coming here into this meeting from. I want to welcome you here today. I recognize faces and names. Laura, I'm not sure I've met you, but you may have been present when I've been doing some music for things. Okay. Then I guess you all know who I am, pretty much. Luca, I don't know if I've met you, but hi to Luca. Mike, I know. Perry, of course. Julie. And at the bottom of my screen is Arid. Arid, I don't know if I've met you. Julie, I know. I know two Julies here. Kira, I think I know your name, so I might have seen you on. And Jane, of course, I know you too. So, thank you for being here for the sub. And don't misbehave just because I'm a sub. And welcome. So, let's begin. It's noontime, so we'll begin. And hi, Swamiji. There's somebody else coming in too. We got a few more people coming in. Wonderful. So we'll begin by doing a short guided centering. So, finding yourself in a comfortable position, allowing your eyes to close if that's comfortable for you. They can just close gently or lightly too, or halfway. And take a few breaths, inhaling as you exhale. Feel free to just allow that exhalation to come out in a sigh through your mouth. It's a releasing form. And feel what that's like if you do that. Inhaling, exhaling. Allowing those exhalations to help you to settle in. To this moment, to this time, this space. Just being present with what is arising or what you're noticing. Internally, externally. Opening and welcoming. And notice your body, how your body is supported. You are sitting, resting into your seat. If your feet are on the floor, noticing that contact with your feet. And softening into that support. Noticing your spine. Allowing it to be straight but not tight or tense, just as comfortably straight. Feeling the expansion of your torso as you breathe in, and the relaxation as you breathe out. Noticing your throat, your face, eyes, nose, cheeks and mouth, jaw and chin, ears, forehead and temples, the top of your head, the sides and the back. Being present in your body. We'll begin with an invocation. Invocation to the Kriya lineage. Invoking them to be present with us. And invoking their energy, their spirit, their beings. Om Shri Babaji Namah. Om Shri Kriteshwarji Namah. Forgot Larry Mahasha. Om Shri Larry Mahasha Ji Namah. Om Shri Paramahansa Yogananda Ji Namah. Om Shri Shali Ji Namah. Om Shri Swami Pranananda Ji Namah. And take a moment to invoke anyone else that you would like to personally bring into this space. Today, our meditation is going to be featured on joy. There's a quotation from Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. Joy is the infallible sign of the presence of God. And if God is not a word you relate to, Pranananda often just would say life with a capital F, capital L. Life with a capital L. Or any way that you think of something that is transcendent, perhaps, to us, the divine, infinite being, great spirit. The main feature in this is that joy is the sign of the existence, the presence of the spirits. And there's a little commentary that I found on this quote that I would like to share with you too. This is from Deacon David Bache's excerpts. Here says, joy is a key indicator of a healthy spirituality. Joy in its classic sense is not a synonym for happiness, but instead refers to zest for life. You can have an underlying zest for life whether you are happy or whether you are sad. Now in yoga we have the words ananda and bliss, and these are, in my sense, connecting to the same concepts of joy, as well as some will feel it as just love, pure love. So whatever words that kind of speak to this concept for you, please feel free to substitute. Now David Bacchus continues, true joy never involves avoiding reality. It means facing it head on, not just the bad, not just the good, but all of it, without fear. A joyful person weeps at tragedy, but does not dwell long in grief, and does not despair. A joyful person smiles when things are going well, but does not forget to be grateful. And a joyful person laughs at jokes, laughs with delight, and perhaps most of all laughs when recognizing his or her own foibles and delusions of grandeur. I took a course not too long ago, an online course. Actually, the course was titled Suffering, a Prompt to Presence. But on the other side of it was the concept of joy. And one of the practices that was taught in this course is called joy mining, mining for joy. And I really thought this was beautiful, and I asked if I could share this with others, and I got the permission to do that. This course, some of you might be familiar with the Lorien Association. It was with Lorien, and David Spangler is the gentleman who I think really initiated that group and is still present. And he was leading this course as well. So I would like to simply read this to you first, and what joy mining or mining for joy means. Think of yourself as deliberately looking for nuggets of joy in your daily affairs and drawing them into your field, depositing them in an inner bank account. To do this, you need to realize that joy doesn't have to be a dramatic experience of ecstasy and pleasure. It can be very simple. What you are looking for are moments that hold the potential of heightening you and your energy. The trick is to make a habit of noticing and acknowledging them, so that we begin to realize that truly joy abounds and is all around us and within us for us to draw upon. What might constitute a nugget of joy? It could be anything that in the moment gives you a happy feeling. It could be the pleasure of a good cup of coffee on a cold morning. It could be a smile from a friend. It could be seeing the blue of a clear sky or hearing the soothing sound of rain on the roof. It could be a song you hear, a funny remark, a bite of something delicious. Our senses are designed to connect us with pleasure in the world around us. When we acknowledge a moment of pleasure, we are in that moment lifted into joy. It may not be the joy of winning a lottery of thousands of dollars or the joy of getting married, but it is a nugget of joy nonetheless. The more we acknowledge and collect them, the warmer our subtle energy becomes. A warmth we can then send out into the world around us. Brain research has shown that just spending a minute acknowledging a happy or beautiful moment, a nugget of joy, can initiate changes in the brain itself that over time build up happiness or joy as a default physical and psychological state. And he makes a note here to see Hardwiring Happiness by Dr. Rick Hansen. The challenge is that we mentally establish a threshold of delight that has to be crossed before we will recognize the presence of joy. This is like saying that bits of gold dust are beneath my notice. All I'll mind is the fist-sized nuggets of gold. Yet, as many a wealthy miner has discovered, those little bits of gold dust can add up to a fortune. So the heart of joy mining is paying attention to moments of happiness, lightness, pleasure, and all around okayness when they happen to us, even if they seem like small pleasures indeed. By paying attention, you are sensitizing yourself to this heightening energy. Further, it helps you realize that for you to pass on joy into the world, you don't have to be in a crazy state of ecstatic happiness yourself. Though I can say, from my own experience, as you practice this, the sense of being in the midst of joy gets progressively stronger until it can truly lead to moments of bliss and ecstasy in the midst of ordinary life. This exercise is simplicity enough. The moment you feel pleased by something or have a sense of happiness about something you experience, pause for a moment and collect it. You do this by acknowledging the moment and honoring its felt sense. Say to yourself something like, "This is a nugget of joy. In this moment, I am touching joy. Let it become part of me, that I may radiate it onward in my life." Then give a silent thanks for the moment. Gratitude and joy go hand in hand. And he suggests, do this throughout a day and see what develops for you. So I thought we would take a moment and go inside and notice or remember or recall or feel if there's something in your present moment or in your recent past or your further past that you would consider a moment of joy. Could be right now in this present moment. Collect it. Let it fill your being. Acknowledge it. If you like, you can radiate it outward. And express your gratitude for it, for that moment, that memory, that experience. Put it in your bank, your joy bank. Feel it. The felt sense of joy in your being. Breathe with it. Now, as I sit here with you, it's not difficult for me to feel it, but I can't say I'm always feeling it. And I can always bring a strong sense in my being of joy. So those times, perhaps if you are finding it not accessible, I've got another little thought. I was reminded of this actually as I took this course. It brought back a memory for me. And that is because I'll give you a little background first. When I first started studying astrology decades ago, one of the ways that you would learn astrology, we look at the signs and talk about some of the manifestations or what those various signs mean and what their shadow sides might be. And one of the things that I was taught about my sun sign, which is Sagittarius, was that Sagittarians can be too Pollyanna-ish. Pollyanna-ish. But then years after that, when I saw the movie Pollyanna, I said, wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with this girl. She's a wonderful soul. And she wasn't overly, I think what the word was used to mean was someone who's just positive and can't recognize the reality of life. But she was not like that. She had had hardships in her life. But one of the things that she had learned, even as a child, was that despite the hardships, despite what she might be feeling, she was taught to play this game called the glad game. And the glad game was to find something she could be glad about. And so when Pollyanna moved to this town, I think her parents might have died and she was being cared for by a relative. She saw that there was a lot of people in this town who were miserable, basically. And one by one, she would go around, she would have interactions with them for various reasons, and she taught them the glad game. And the whole, it's a story, but it's beautiful just how people can affect each other, even in fiction. They changed. People were able to start finding something they could be glad about. So I thought about this myself when I was walking through the park one day this past week, and a lot of beauty around me, but I was having a hard time, hitting on the joy. So I said, well, wait a minute. I can just find something to be glad about. And I can be glad about being here. I can be glad about being alive. I can be glad about so many things. And it changed. It changed my attitude. There's one story, and I couldn't find it where the reference was. I looked for it. But it talked about a monk in his cell who would wake up every morning and jump out of bed and go and kiss the wall and express his gratitude for being alive another day. And that one always stuck with me too. I feel like morning is a wonderful time before I get out of bed to connect with some of that beauty and that joy. So you can do it in various ways, but it's a nice way to start, with gratitude and joy. This world is full of things these days, of much strife going on in the world, much suffering, much discord. And that it's important for us to be able to find our center. Gatherings like this, and any gatherings where you're joining with other people, are a real oasis and a real island for being able to connect with the spirit behind everything. What impressed me with what I was learning in the course with David Spangler was one of the things he said was when you develop and cultivate this practice, you can see that any time you're not that far from experiencing that joy, that there's this underlying joy beneath everything. I suppose we would call that the bliss of Brahman. There's a joy that's part of it, the reality. And each of us may find our own ways, will find our own ways to cultivate this. Simply chanting Ananda might bring it to you, Ananda. And so because part of my practice is with music, I thought I would bring us a chant, from which after that we can rest in silence for a while. And this one is a Yogananda chant. Those of you who were in Friends of Kriya heard it recently. This is a chant called Joy that Yogananda wrote. And the words are just joy. Joy, 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 joy. Ever new joy, joy, joy. And so if you like to chant along, please do. Or if you want to just sit with it and take it in, whatever works for you. But we'll chant this mantra for a few moments and end with a period of silence. Joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 ever new joy, 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 joy. And staying in that meditative space, we'll move into time of prayer practice. And let's do this today with a version of the metta prayer. So in this prayer we go through these sentences. We begin with ourselves. May I. We extend that out to a you, and in this you can be thinking about particular people in your lives you want to extend this to, this prayer. And in this version, there's also a round where we address our shadows, those parts in us perhaps that are not always welcome. And then all beings. So I'll say it slowly so we can all just be saying it together. There's so many different versions of the metta prayer. This version that I'm doing is a little bit new for me. I liked it, so I wanted to have it as a possibility. May I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I awaken to the light of my true nature. May I be filled with joy. May I be healed and be a source of healing for all other beings. May you, my beloved, be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be filled with joy. May you be healed and be a source of healing for all other beings. May my shadow be at peace. May my shadow's heart remain open. May my shadow awaken to the light of my own true nature. May my shadow be healed. And may my shadow be a source of healing for all other beings. May all beings be at peace. May the heart of all beings remain open. May all beings awaken to the light of their own true nature. May all beings be filled with joy. May all beings be a source, be healed, and be a source of healing for all other beings. Continuing to send out the blessings. This chant you may be familiar with or you may not. It's not a difficult one. It's Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu. Loka means planes of existence. Samasta means all planes of existence. Sukhi no, sometimes translated as sweetness, sometimes happiness. We could say joy today. Bhavantu, be blessed. May this be so for all beings on all planes of existence. And this version, which was put together by Janice Nakashima, also includes another part that brings the word Shanti in there.
So it's Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, and then there's Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Bhavantu. So
please sing along if you like. Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Shanti 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 Bhavantu Shanti 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 Bhavantu Shanti 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 Bhavantu Shanti 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 Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Shanti 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 Bhavantu Shanti 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 Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Our time is coming to a close today. I have a poem, a Rumi poem I'd like to share with you. I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy, my heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance the sacred dance of life. I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up, and to lift others up. O Sacred One, untangle my feet from all that trap. Free my soul, that we might dance, and that our dancing might be infectious. I'll just read it again. It's nice to read these things twice. I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy, my heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance the sacred dance of life. I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up, and to lift others up. O Sacred One, untangle my feet from all that trap. Free my soul, that we might dance, and that our dancing might be infectious. Thank you for being here today, sharing in this meditation. Let us bring our palms together and just chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Inhaling, resurrection breath. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste.